Hey, what is up, guys? It's Brendan here, and today we're going to be comparing Ecwid versus Shopify. Which is better, and really which is the best e-commerce platform when you're looking to get started with an online store. Now, before we dive into the comparison of, again, Shopify versus Ecwid, I do want to mention if you don't already have an e-commerce store, you can go ahead and check out those first links down in the description box below. The first one being to Shopify, where you can get started with a Shopify free trial. Of course, go ahead and check out that link down in the description box below. That's BrandonValesky.com/Shopify. That will take you right over to a Shopify free trial. We're going to get started with Shopify for free today. Again, that's that link down in the description box below. After the Shopify link, if you do want to get set up with Ecwid, you can also go ahead and check out BrandonValesky.com/Ecwid. That will take you right over to this page here where you can get started with Ecwid for free today. Again, go ahead and check out both of those links down in the description box below. Whichever e-commerce platform you end up deciding to go with, that is a great way to help out and support the channel, as those are affiliate links to Ecwid and Shopify. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into the comparison of Ecwid versus Shopify. So first and foremost, of course, you're going to want to know, well, what is Shopify and what is Ecwid in the first place? So starting with Shopify. So Shopify is like really one of the most popular e-commerce platforms out there. They've been around the block for quite a long time. They are really my personal favorite e-commerce platform for setting up an online store, just because they have so many rich features and aspects to building out a Shopify store. Tons of different apps that you can use in the Shopify App Store, and just tons of integrations, and they really are one of the best e-commerce platforms for selling physical, digital, really any kind of products online that you want to sell. Shopify also has a wide range of different pricing plans available depending on what your specific needs are as well. We'll be diving into the specific pricing comparisons in a little bit later in this video. We're also going to be taking a look at a few different store examples, and if you're maybe interested in dropshipping, comparing the two different platforms for that as well. So Shopify, as you can see here clearly, they are a global commerce platform. You can sell online, offline, if you need point of sale systems as well, maybe if you're a brick and mortar retailer. They really serve, as you can see here, 10% of total US e-commerce. They really are a massive platform. They're great for creators, people who are developers, it really across the board. Shopify is a great platform to use. They're a great high converting checkout as well. It's very fast and smooth and easy to use. And I also have a bunch of different Shopify tutorials on the channel as well if you're interested in learning more about Shopify specifically. But really, they are a great e-commerce platform for selling products online, of course. As you can see here, meet the people who choose Shopify. Honestly, I can't say anything more just how great the Shopify platform is, but we'll be diving into the specific details of maybe Shopify is better for you for your business, or maybe Ecwid might be better for you. So taking a look at Ecwid. So what is Ecwid? Ecwid is originally an e-commerce widget, hence the name Ecwid, but Ecwid is a platform where you can build out an e-commerce site using their instant site feature, or you can also add Ecwid onto another website. Maybe if you already have a WordPress website, a Weebly, a Wix, something like that, you can also add Ecwid e-commerce on to your website as well. Maybe if you already have an existing website, which is pretty cool. Ecwid gives you a little bit of flexibility there. You can also build out, of course, your own online store. Of course, you can get started for free as well with Ecwid. Now, we'll be diving into the specifics of the pricing plan comparisons in just a little bit, but Ecwid you can also sell anywhere online, whether it be social media, marketplaces, Amazon, in person, platforms like that. As you can see, Facebook, Instagram as well. You can do Facebook marketing, Google ads, email marketing, things like that. You can manage everything from their app as well. Of course, Shopify also has a great app to manage things. Really, both platforms do have quite robust features as far as managing your overall online store. You can also, of course, accept payments, and Ecwid is by Lightspeed as well. Just wanted to mention that there. They also have, of course, support app market, and you can manage your store on the go. So really, just as a quick, brief overview of Ecwid and, of course, Shopify, diving into the specifics of pricing, because I know a lot of you guys are looking at this comparison like, hey, what does the pricing look like, as well as we'll be diving into specific feature details a little bit later, maybe to help you with your decision on the two different popular e-commerce platforms. So Shopify pricing. So of course you can get started with a free trial, link down below. But taking a look at the specific pricing details, of course you have the yearly and monthly option with Shopify. Honestly, most people are probably good with just the basic Shopify. Of course, you get your whole online store. You get some shipping discounts as well, a variety of different products that you can list in your online store as well. With the basic Shopify, that's going to serve most people. Although I will say that Shopify also added a Shopify starter plan, which I do have a detailed review going over the pros and cons of the Shopify starter plan for a lot cheaper, as you can see here. Of course, all this pricing is accurate as of the making of today's video. Be sure to check out the Shopify pricing page as well as the Ecwid pricing page we'll dive into in a little bit to get the most realistic up-to-date pricing, because pricing, it changes. So be sure to check out their pages to get the most up-to-date pricing. But the starter plan with Shopify is a good alternative. Maybe if you're looking to save money, maybe if you just want something a little bit more basic, less features. If you just need a simple online store, maybe if you're just selling on social media, or you're just linking people to a few products, the starter plan could be good for you. As you can see, you can sell products through social and messaging apps. So you don't get an actual website per se with the rate. You don't get like a full online store, full-blown website with the starter plan. Of course, it is a bit more limited, but it is a bit cheaper even after that like trial discount period. As you can see here, there is the trial discount period, which does apply both to the basic or the starter, as you can see here, depending on the plan that you go with. So there's that to consider as well. Now, I will say in general, and if this is the yearly option, which you save a bit of money if you do pay yearly. If you pay monthly, it's going to cost you a little bit more. I will say in general, Shopify is a little bit more expensive than Ecwid, but you get a lot more with it. You get just a lot more customization. You get a lot more apps on the app marketplace as well within Shopify. We'll be diving into that in a little bit here as far as the app comparisons. But you're paying for it, but you get a lot more with a Shopify store as well. So let's take a look at Ecwid pricing as well before we dive into all the details of similarities, differences, pros and cons between the two. So Ecwid, of course, they actually have a completely free plan forever. So it's not a free trial with Ecwid, which does set them apart from Shopify, is that Ecwid actually does have a completely free plan. Now, it is a bit limited because you're limited to only 5 products currently on the Ecwid completely free plan. You're also limited to what you can actually do on that store, although you can still sell products, dip your toe in and start, at least selling some products on your online store. Of course, as you can see here, of course, they also save you money on the annual versus the monthly. I would say, of course, if you're comparing like annual versus monthly, realistically, the monthly rates, especially if you're looking at the business package, is fairly comparable to Shopify, at least just from a purely pricing point of view. You do get really like the venture sort of that in between, I would say, between like a Shopify basic and like a free online e-commerce store. So the venture is a nice in between there if you're just paying monthly, if you're not going with the annual to save more money. So the business is really the most comparable plan there. Of course, you can dive into the specific nitty-gritty details, but in general, I would say that's probably the biggest comparison, at least the closest to it. In general, you're going to get a lot more features with the basic Shopify plan than what you could expect with like the venture. Again, the venture is sort of that kind of in between, not completely free, but also not a full-blown all the same features. As you can see, you're kind of limited with 100 products on the venture on Ecwid as well. So that is something to consider, as well as abandoned cart emails. There's a few other specific details that might matter to you as well. But overall, you still get a good amount of things. As you can see, product variations, that's something else that you would also have to pay for the business plan. So if you're really looking at comparing the basic Shopify plan, I would compare that more to the business Ecwid plan if you're trying to find something more comparable overall. So that's kind of how the pricing works out, at least within Ecwid and Shopify. Now, digging into a few different store examples, as well as you can see here, we have the Ecwid store examples. You can see here as we just scroll through, there's a lot of different ways that you could design an Ecwid store, building out your e-commerce store in general and selling your products online. In general, of course, there's a lot of different ways you could draw inspiration and design your store. We're not digging into the specifics on how to build an e-commerce store with both platforms in this comparison, but in general, there's a bit of customization you can do. But overall, I will say that by and large, Shopify is ahead of the curve on overall web design standards. Taking a look at just a few of the different online stores within Shopify, I will say they have really the biggest net of web design options within Shopify, and their free templates are really, really good. Honestly, I've covered a lot of them on the channel, showing you kind of how to customize them, especially with the Dawn theme on Shopify specifically. That's one of their newer online store 2.0 setups. Realistically, you can more flexibly customize Shopify, and it's going to match all the current web design trends, making things just look really aesthetically pleasing for your customers. If you just need something a little bit more basic and you don't necessarily need all of those customization features and making things look really super sleek, hey, maybe Ecwid is fine for you, especially if you're maybe trying to save a little bit of money, you're going with a cheaper plan, then sure. Out of the box, you might need to do a little bit more tweaking with Ecwid to get it looking how you want it. And overall, it still looks fine. It's a fine e-commerce platform in general. But I will say that yes, you can expect a bit more design elements, a bit more customization, and following just more sleeker design trends in general with Shopify, because they're just really ahead of the curve in general on the web design trends. If you're purely looking at it from an aesthetic point of view, looking at example stores, looking at themes and templates, that's going to get you that difference there. Now, the next thing to compare as well is, of course, the apps and specifically dropshipping. If a lot of you guys may be interested in dropshipping or just apps in general, I will say Ecwid, overall, their app marketplace, I know we're looking at dropshipping specifically here, but in general, they don't have as many apps because they're a smaller company. Hands down, they're just a smaller company. So they're not going to have as many apps available on the marketplace and as much app development. Of course, as you can see here, not as much drop shipping. I mean, you can still do Printful, which is nice, or Spocket. I've covered different ones of these different dropshipping platforms on the channel if you're interested in that. But even if you're not interested in dropshipping specifically, in general, you're going to have a lot less app selection on a e-commerce platform like Ecwid compared to Shopify, where their app store is absolutely massive. Okay, you can search through tons of different app categories, as you can see here. When it comes to finding products, selling products, orders and shipping, store design, marketing, conversions, store management, there are a bajillion different apps on the Shopify App Store. Even just here looking at different dropshipping apps, there's a lot more automation available if that's what you're into. But even if you're not, there are way more apps in the Shopify App Store, which can help you with not only managing your store, but selling products, integrations. Really, it comes down to everything. If you are trying to build out things on your store and you maybe need some specific fix, or you need a specific app to do what you need to do for your business, the Shopify App Store, you're not going to have a problem there. Yes, some apps cost additional money, but in general, you're not going to be limited by the apps in the Shopify App Store. There's really a ton of different options in there. It just gives you a lot more flexibility if you need to get certain things done with your Shopify store or just your e-commerce store in general when you're comparing the app availability on Ecwid versus Shopify in that respect. I will say, in general, both platforms are pretty solid picks. But it's just Shopify, while you may pay a little bit more money for the Shopify platform as a whole, you are setting yourself up for, honestly, a lot of long-term success as far as the platform in general. I've been on the whole Shopify ecosystem for so long at this point. Ecwid is a great, up-and-comer as far as adding a lot of features, but in general, things are going to be just a lot faster on Shopify. Yes, you're spending a little bit more money up front in general, but you can expect that in the long run, it's a bit more scalable of a platform. If you're looking to save a little bit of money and maybe a good alternative to Shopify, Ecwid is still not bad. Honestly, Ecwid is still a good platform to use if you're looking to save a little bit of money, or maybe if you just maybe you don't need everything that Shopify has to offer. Maybe you don't need all the additional customization and features that Shopify comes with. Then maybe Ecwid is just fine for you. Again, both platforms do have a free way to try each of them out. Of course, Shopify is just a free trial, and Ecwid does have a completely free option for selling online. So it really comes down to, what do you need? Do you need maybe a bit more? Then I would say go with Shopify if you're looking to scale long term and grow maybe a bigger store, maybe if you need all those features. But if you just need something a bit more basic, you don't necessarily need to be paying for all of those additional features that I had mentioned, or just in general, just from my experience on the Shopify platform, then maybe go with Ecwid instead, or go with Shopify. Both have free ways to try them. Again, both links down in the description box below. If you want to get started with Shopify, you go ahead and check out BrennanValesky.com/Shopify. That will take you right over to a Shopify free trial where you can get started with Shopify for free today. Again, that is the first link down in the description box below. As well as if you want to get started with Ecwid for free, you can get started for free and check out BrennanValesky.com/Ecwid. That will take you right over to this page here where you can get started with Ecwid for free. So hopefully this comparison has maybe cleared a little bit of things up and gave you an additional perspective on both of the platforms to help you decide between which is the better e-commerce platform for you. So if you guys enjoyed this video on comparing Ecwid versus Shopify, be sure to smash that like button, hit the subscribe button as well, and a notification bell so you're notified whenever I upload a new video. But anyway, guys, that is all for today's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.